Hi there everyone, it's Jaakko here. Today I want to take a look at rigging, and I'm not really rigger. I haven't studied this thing properly, and I haven't really went to sort of academic route of becoming a rigger or animator. But the point of this message or of this video is more like that. It's not. This isn't like a black magic. It's this is something that you can definitely learn, and you can with decent amount of effort you can come up with animation. So I created this character recently for game engine Unity, and I did some animation to this, and it's not like the most advanced animation in the world, but yeah, it works, and you can kind of tell even from a distance that what's happening in the scene, what he's doing, that you know it makes sense. So in this video I'd like to take a look at the things that I learned about rigging when I did this character, and the things that you can use, sort of tips and tricks that you can use when you come up with your own rigs, especially if you're a beginner like me. Yeah, the quick way to come up with IK setup and setting up the sword and shield and things like that. So basically, the way how I created this rig is just I used the Humanoid in Maya, and Humanoid is really powerful tool. You can really quickly come up with rigs that make sense and work. So for example, this character is obviously a cat type of a creature, and how the legs are set up, they are just like normal human legs. And the idea is that the ankle control is here actually, and then that's the toes. So these are not actually feet. The feet bone is actually this one here. The feet joint is here, and then the toe. This is just the toe area, and this works decently well. I'm not sure how anatomically accurate this is if you're talking about like a cat character, but yeah, it makes sense, at least for me it does. And then you've got like the normal Humanoid controls, like the hips, which work like so, and then you have the this neck or this shoulder area in here, and then you got the head, of course, like so you can do that, and then the tail has its own like bones that I just added to the rig before I bind the skin to it. And then just about skin, if you got the rigging here, you can just like select your in this case it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be this torso low, and you just right click and go to how do you do actually the skin weights. Wait a second. If you go here, paint skin weights, so yeah, you can come here and do the skin weights like so. So skin weights means basically that which joint affects which area. So for example, like you have like all these joints in here, and if I'm gonna go and select the helmet, you can see that then you have like this head joint, which has like a full effect on the head, so that when the head turns, the helmet will follow absolutely all the vertices in the helmet will completely follow the joint. So yeah, I think you get the idea. So the thing about this is that he's a character which has a sword, and I want to be able to control the sword very precisely. Again, I'm not sure how. He doesn't seem to be really very good with his sword skills, but that's topic for another video maybe. So I wanted to be able to control the sword movement completely, and what I've done here is that I've made it so that the hand will follow the sword. So you can actually animate the sword, and the hand will follow wherever the sword goes. The hand will completely follow, and even like you can even like throw the sword like whoa, like so. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of show you how I did this. So normally, if you create your own rigs in Maya, if you don't use Humanoid, but you just create your own rigs from scratch, you can use these parent constraints. And I think the recommended way to attach a sword to a character in this way was to use parent constraint, like what I did with the shield in here. But But it doesn't work with Human IK. Human IK is like sort of managed system. So what I have done in here is that I have added effector for this right wrist. So this right wrist is like normal, just one of those effectors, those joint controls that you have in the control rig of Human IK. So what I've done is I added auxiliary effector for this wrist, and what this does is it gives us a new sort of IK target, and you have all these options of IK blend in here and IK pull in here as well, and this gives us like sort of just the whole rig will now listen to this new auxiliary effector, and this is sort of the first step to do. So you just get in here and you right click and you create aux effector, and then that will happen. You get new green ball in here that you have these controls in here. Okay, so then what I've done is I created a locator, this right hand locator, and I've just placed it carefully in here, and now I have this locator in here, and then I have the sword is Vesuvius, that's the name of the sword, and then now the sword is actually parent of this effector. Alright, and then now I have sorry, I mean the locator. So the sword is parent of the locator, and then this locator is the parent of this effector. And in this way, now this is set up properly. Now when I move this sword, what happens is that locator is going to move, and because locator happens to be the parent of right wrist effector, auxiliary effector, then it means that auxiliary effector will get that data from the sword, and the whole thing is going to move based on the sword movement. So this was the way how I was able to make this sort of rig just by using the Human IK. So then about the shield is that the shield, what I tried to do first is that I just took the shield, put the pivot point to the shield, and then I just attached the shield to the hand. And it worked just perfectly in Maya, but when I exported the FBX, it never matched. The movement didn't match, and then what happened was that the shield was flying off his hand all the time. So the way how I did this was that again I created a locator and I placed it on the wrist, and then I took the shield, and then now the shield is parent of the locator. And then the trick is that I use the constraint. So as I told you in the beginning, this constraint system really doesn't work with Human IK always perfectly. So you can't really constrain things to wrist bones, for example, or the hand bones. If you just want to place the sword to the hand with Human IK, there's going to be trouble. I had a lot of problems when I tried to do it that way, because I watched some tutorials in the internet which showed how to use custom rigs and how to do custom rigs and how to attach swords to and objects to the hands of characters that had custom rigs, not Human IK rigs. So you have to be careful with these constraints, but you can use locators. So the way how I sort of was able to go around the problem was that I placed the locator and then I used the constraint. So shield is constrained to the locator. So the way how you can do that is just take this shield, for example, and then select the locator and then just go to constraint and do the parent. In here you can set those. I think those default values actually seem to work for me. So now I have the system so that the shield will follow the hand, and you're still going to be able to use this control, this left wrist effector, and animate the hand while the hand still sort of follows the character, and then also the shield will follow the character because it's now constrained to the hand. So you could also do what I've done with the sword in here. You can do the same thing, repeat the same process, create auxiliary effector for his left wrist, and then have another IK target. But then what that means is that if you don't need precise control for the shield, if you just want to make the shield follow his body movements, if you would just do the same for so then you would have to animate the target, or then of course you can also do the, like, you can, in this case I have the left wrist effector, and you can use IK blend to sort of control how much IK is gonna affect that. So how much you want like physical control for it, and how much you want the body just control that. So that's the power of using these blend controls in here, and so on. I hope that makes sense. So yes, this is a quick video about, like, I wanted to just show you a couple of ways that you can come up with rigs such as this, and it's not really that difficult. Like, rigging and animation used to be, at least when I was working with Lightwave, it used to be really sort of scary thing, like, oh, this is gonna take forever to learn, like, to come up with something that works even decently, because, well, back in the old days, in the early 2000s and so on, it was very different things, and there wasn't like much tutorials, and also the software wasn't that advanced, so you had to do, like, especially in the Lightwave, I think the rigging was one of the most difficult things to come up with. But in Maya, the Humanoid game, now we have like a lot of tools and also a lot of tutorials. So if you want to just try out for fun, like how it is to do animation or rigging, just go ahead and try it out. It's kind of fun, and it's also a nice way if you're just a character modeler, or if you're a modeler, it's fun to see your models in action, in movement, and so on. So yeah, this is a quick video about rigging. So hope you find this useful, and leave a comment if probably I did some mistakes. I said some things that are not actually, maybe my method isn't the best way, so just leave a comment and correct me, please. So yeah, this was Jaakko. I hope to see you guys in the next video, so bye bye.